Hey, so do you find that NoFap just isn't working for you? So either you relapse or you gain some momentum and you just don't feel better about yourself, you don't see the benefit, so you think, what's the point of all this? So in this video, I'm gonna help you understand why that is, what you're doing wrong, show you points of improvement so you can make a regression-proof behavioral shift for yourself, okay? So let's dive in, let's get into this right now. And so there's a number of reasons why you may have gotten into NoFap, right? It could be it's completely destructive, it's making you isolated, it's making you feel alone, low self-esteem, shame, you don't like the person you're becoming. And then there's also, maybe it's stopping you from being as productive as you want to be. It's stopping you from going after your goals, and it's just stopping you from really transitioning into that version of yourself that you really want to become. And so if you're unfamiliar with what NoFap is, it's essentially no masturbation, right? You could do no porn, depending what community you've been researching and getting into. So it could be no porn, it could be porn. We're gonna just focus on the behavior. And this is not just for men. Ladies, this is for you as well. It could be, eating behaviors, it could be any type of behavior. We're gonna talk about NoFap, but you could substitute any behavior. We're talking about regression-proof behavioral changes, okay? How to absolutely own your behavior. Essentially, how to only behave in ways that serve you in your next level of growth, serve you in reaching your potential, serve you in crushing it with your career, serve you in creating deep, meaningful relationships, okay? So this is what we're talking about. And so this framework I'm gonna show you extremely effective. It's helped me do NoFap for as long as 14 months. I've done 9 months, 6 months. The time does not matter. And this is what I'm going to really show you. We're going to go a little deeper in this framework and just really demonstrate it's not about the time. Okay? So I want to reframe the way you approach this and overall how effective this is for any kind of behavioral shift that you want to make for yourself. Okay? So let's take you through the framework. Okay? So up here we have emotion, okay? So emotion goes down to choice, which goes down to unconscious or conscious. If you make a conscious choice, essentially your self-esteem goes up. And if you make an unconscious choice, which means you behave, so you act out, you watch the porn, you fap, or maybe it's an eating issue, then you eat, then it's you behave in that way, and what that does is it plummets your self-esteem. You create karmic debt for yourself. Think of karmic debt as when you do something that's not aligned with yourself. You act in a way that's not in alignment with yourself. The result is karmic debt. You create negative karma for yourself. And when you do that, you feel more. These are negative emotions, essentially. Actually, we're going to break this down even further. But for now, just assume it's negative emotions, okay? So let's take a look at this. Now, the important thing here is emotions. Emotions are the biggest driver of your behavior. Hands down. Emotions drive everything. And the reason that most people can't update their behavior is because they're unconscious of how these emotions are driving everything in the background. So here's an example. Emotion. So when you feel an emotion, when you feel cravings, when you feel the urge to do something, when you feel compelled to do anything and you feel like you have no control, emotions are driving that. Essentially, it's emotional pain. Okay? So emotion, you feel the emotion, you feel cravings, you crave something, maybe it's porn, food, whatever it is. You have a craving, and what that craving does is it's suppressing your emotion down. Okay? So, but the emotions are underlying everything. That's what's driving everything. So emotions drive a choice. Think about this. It's your urge is so bad that you just walk to the laptop and you start watching porn or something like that, right? What that is, it doesn't feel like you have a choice. That's your choice point. And I'm going to help you break down, give you some strategies here for how to give yourself more of a choice, give yourself more power over your behavior. But essentially, the emotion drives this choice, which is unconscious. You have no control. You feel like your behavior is you watch the porn, fat, binge eat, whatever it is, whatever behavior, right? Just whatever behavior you're struggling with, substitute it in here. You behave in that way, and as you do it, you create karmic debt for yourself, and then you feel more negative emotions. Maybe after you're done, you feel shame. What is wrong with me? What am I doing? I got so many goals and I'm sitting here wasting my time on this. Right? This is what the negative karma does. It creates more negative emotions, and then when you feel the shame, when you feel bad about what you did, what does that do? It makes you ramp up the behavior even more. You're even feeling more shame. So, oh, what already relapsed, might as well keep going again, right? Already broke the cycle, let's just keep going and going. Or already, oh, I had one scoop of ice cream, let's just keep going and going because I already fell off. I already feel shitty about myself, so let's just keep this cycle going. Which is why it's extremely, extremely important to understand that emotions are driving. This is the why. This is the why under everything. Absolutely everything. It's the why. It's because of these negative emotions. Anxiety, shame, hopelessness, fear, things aren't going to be okay. Oh my God, I'm nervous. What's going to happen? I need some stress relief. That's the why, driving all your behavior. And the thing is if you don't figure this out, usually what happens is people will do okay with the NoFap or whatever behavior, and what they do is they'll substitute the NoFap, for example, substitute NoFap, but then they'll turn into like a workaholic or something like that. Why? Because the emotion is still alive there. The emotion is still driving this behavior. So initially they couldn't stop the fapping, but then after they switched the behavior for another behavior, the emotion, say the feeling of inadequacy, feeling like you're unlovable, feeling like you have no connection, it still drives the workaholism then after. So instead of not being able to stop fapping, now it's I can't stop working. I'm just so driven to work, I can't even stop. I can't shut work off of my mind. It's the same cycle. And that's why, and that's because they left the emotions that were driving everything intact. And you could even think about another behavior here. Eating, right? I used to really struggle with this as well. I would get crazy just anxiety, feelings of hopelessness. And what I would do is I would comfort myself. I would just start eating, right? Unconsciously, just in the cycle. Eating, binge eating, comfort food, things like that. And then I would say, oh my God, I'm not looking good, I'm gaining too much weight, or there would be a trip coming up, I gotta look good on the beach, right? So then what would I do? I would switch the bad eating habits for absolutely measured, strict eating style, like measuring out my food, portions, cardio at the gym, workouts, leaning out. And what did I do? I left the emotions intact. So instead of just eating, now it would be overcompensating on the fitness, overcompensating on the clean eating. And I would go through these big swings. Acting out, which is the binge eating, acting in, which is the clean fitness lifestyle, right? Then it could be, for you, if you're watching this, it could be no fap, and then all of a sudden you completely fall off. Then you go super strict for a while, and then you fall off again. Why? Because your why is still driving absolutely everything. And a note to add here on the NoFap, really important here, you're not getting away with anything just because it's all in your mind and it's only you, okay? Your body cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. Really take that in. Your body cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It only reacts to the images you feed it, okay? So if you're in your mind and you're taking advantage, or you're overpowering some sexual partner or whatever, your body just senses like it just behaved in that way. And so that's what your brain and your body interpret that as you just took part in that behavior. And so essentially that behavior is not aligned with your true self, with your higher self. Whenever you behave in a way that's not aligned with your higher self, your self-esteem plummets. as soon as you do the behavior, your self-esteem plummets. Whether somebody saw it or not. The minute there's somebody saw you walk up to the fridge and have the ice cream, doesn't matter. It's not aligned with your higher self. Your higher self wants you to crush it in your goals, your career, your relationships, in life in general. Okay? That is in the opposite direction. You know, wasting time on the computer, wasting time eating bad meals that are not good for you, they're not good fuel for you, that is not aligned with your higher self. And so where you want to start taking a look at here, to start breaking this cycle, okay? What you want to take a look at is the choice point here. This is the big one. Because here is where you don't want to use, you don't want to leave it to your willpower to make this choice. If you leave it strictly to your willpower, you will fail every single time. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're sitting in a room with your laptop, you know you could go watch porn, and you just sit there and you just try to will your way to not watch it. You know it's there, but you just sit there and you try to will your way to not do it. You'll fail every time, okay? So how do you take your willpower out of it? So I'm just gonna write willpower here, okay? So this is a willpower thing here. And you want to use absolutely as little willpower as possible. As little willpower as possible here. So what do I mean by that is, let's say you put a porn blocker on your laptop. It's a way easier choice. Do you see what I mean? And you don't have to use so much willpower to make a choice to do it or not do it. It's just you can't do it. There's a blocker on there. What are you going to do? Somebody else has the password. You can't watch it, right? Throw the junk food out of your fridge, right? There's another way where instead of convincing yourself to not eat the ice cream, right? You don't have ice cream in the fridge. And so you know in your mind that if I want to go eat junk food, I got to go drive somewhere. You're more likely to not do it. So do you see how it gives you more of a choice? More of a choice here. Now, those are things you can do. Now, if that's not enough, let's say you end up driving somewhere to get junk food, or you find a way to hack through your porn blocker and your laptop, and it's just not doing the trick. Then what you want to do is you always want to add in accountability. Okay? Get a friend, get a supportive person in on it. Okay? Because if you don't, you're relying only on your own willpower. Because as human beings, we're always very motivated to not look bad in front of other people. And it's not about looking bad, it's about having a supportive relationship, a supportive mentor, a supportive group that's going to hold you accountable for your best interests, because they truly want the best for you. So for example, let's say you joined an online community and they hold you accountable. And you know you have to check in with them like in a few days, every few days, or weekly, whatever the thing is. You know you have to answer to them, give them constant updates. It's far easier to make the choice to not watch it. Let's say you have both now. You got the porn blocker and you got the community that you have to check in with. You set yourself up so much better for success. And on the flip side, let's say you don't have junk food in the fridge and you also have this group of fitness people that are keeping you on track. You're keeping track of your goals, your weight loss, all that stuff together. You know you're in this community. It's going to be so much easier for you to make a conscious choice down here. So let's say the opportunity comes, you get these cravings, but then you know that there's a blocker on the laptop, and then you have an accountability group. So what do? You make a conscious choice, and instead of watching the porn, you decide to work on some productive projects or work towards your goals. Work on that school project, apply to the schools that you want to go to, apply to the jobs that you want. You make a conscious choice. When you do that, that's aligned with your higher self. Your higher self wants you to absolutely crush it. So when you make that choice, your self-esteem goes up, right? Then what happens again? You get more cravings. And each time you make this choice and your self-esteem gets higher and higher and higher, your brain is interpreting as you're worth it. Your higher self is interpreting that as, yeah, you do deserve the best in life. You do deserve to go after your goals. You do deserve to live a life of abundance, essentially, right? So every single time you make that choice, that conscious choice, these emotions, they control you less. They control you less and less and less, and your cravings go down and down and down. And so you constantly break this circuit. So really important here, figure out the why. If you don't figure out the why, you're gonna swap out the problematic behavior for something that's quote unquote healthy, but it's just gonna be another coping mechanism. Figure out the why. And then once you figure that out, put your structure essentially in place. Right? Is it a blocker on your computer? Is it no junk food in the house? And then if that's not enough, if the behavior is really extreme, then you need outside support. You need people. You have to have people, relationships, compassion, support, a structure. If you do it all on your own terms, this is more of a first order change. Right? Let's say, oh yeah, I didn't watch any porn or whatever, fat for 30 days. Right? And that's just a first order change. A second order change is when you've completely restructured your relationships. You've restructured your entire life in a way to set you up for success, to break this cycle, to take your willpower out of it. It's a second order change, okay? And that's the change you really want to implement. So if you find that you can't change your behavior, tackle it here. Tackle it here, figure out where it's coming from, tackle it here. So you don't take part in the behavior, you don't create negative karma for yourself, your self-esteem doesn't plummet, and you don't create more anxiety, more negative emotions, more shame for yourself, okay? So that's how you break out of this choice by choice by choice, moment by moment by moment, and that's how you get your power back. That's how you get that regression-proof behavioral shift. So if you found this video helpful, I would love to connect with you on Instagram. I post tips, inspiration daily, just a ton of value on there to move you forward, to keep you inspired, to keep you motivated towards your journey to becoming that version of yourself that you want to become. And we also have the Facebook group, so I'll link that below the video. Both links are going to be below the video. The Facebook group as well, you can join that. If you need some more support, you can ask me questions and I can guide you closer along the way, okay? So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. All right, take care.